Hello guys, nice to see you again. The duel trilogy between Dustin Poirier vs the Notorious, Conor McGregor at UFC 264, looks like it will be an unforgettable moment throughout UFC history. That's because the hype of the trilogy between Dustin Poirier vs Conor McGregor, to the defeat of the Notorious due to a broken leg. This video contains about what caused the King to suffer a shocking defeat, how a series of karma one after another befell him, what frauds he has committed, some of the harsh actions he has committed against others, as well as predictions against Conor McGregor, if he back in the octagon later. But before we continue, we remind you to press the subscribe button and activate the bell, so you don't miss other interesting update from QINIMA. Intro. Okay, before we get into the story entitled The Fall of the King, make sure you sit quietly, relax, and away from anything that will interfere with the story. Can also be accompanied by a cup of espresso, coffee latte, or boba. How did the King suffer a shocking defeat? Conor McGregor made his professional MMA debut in 2008, where he went on to win two different weight classes, featherweight and lightweight, in 2012, at the biggest MMA event in the world, the UFC. In the course of his career to fame to date, Conor McGregor has also experienced several defeats. Conor's most famous defeat was against a Russian fighter, Khabib Nurmagomedov, and the most recent, and most phenomenal, was his loss in a trilogy duel against Dustin Poirier, where he had to suffer a broken bone in his leg, and had to go home using a stretcher. Not satisfied with his defeat, the Notorious immediately challenged Dustin for the fourth fight, shortly after he was declared defeated. With an expression of pain, the Notorious also threatened and brought personal things into the octagon ring. In his interview, Dustin mentions that he heard a crack while checking Conor's first kick, but Conor didn't notice.
Beginning of the fight, then it broke on a punch, yeah, for sure. When I pointed at him at the beginning of the fight, that's when I checked a good kick. I bet that.
The crack then got worse when Conor kicked Dustin's thigh, until finally his left leg was in a position to support Conor's body until he was injured. Karma one after one, that befalls Conor McGregor. Khabib's comment on Conor was, people say that money and fame make you change, but it's not really that, it's money and fame that makes your true nature come out. That's how fame, money, and a lot of admiring fans made Conor's true nature come out. Yet, not only trash talk, arrogant and like to humiliate his opponent, but also explosions from fans who were present at UFC 205, where Conor met Alvarez. One fan made fun of Alvarez, which then turned his back on him, when Conor McGregor met Dustin in 2021.
Rounds, yet in your professional career, you've only went to the 5th round twice and lost one of them. What the are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Conor, right down here. Conor, question for you. You have won exactly one fight since Barack Obama was president.
Don't you, Mel, go down and smash you and out.
Conor, only a fighter
smash you and out.
Over the last 6 fights.
You little rabbit.
The second one was during his press conference with Dustin, where many of Conor's jokes turned to him. One example, where he said that Dustin would go home using a stretcher, but in the end it was Conor who went home using a stretcher.
A blank face, it's gonna get his ass whooped out on a stretcher.
Not only that, even Conor said whoever does the takedown first is a coward, but during a fight in the octagon, it was Conor who did the takedown first, and even did the guillotine, which surprised Dustin. Many fighters responded to the results of the Trilogy fight through their tweets, such as Daniel Cormier and Khabib Nurmagomedov. The third karma is the leg injury itself, which if we flash back to 2016, at UFC 196, when he was scheduled to meet Rafael dos Anjos. Unfortunately, RDA suffered a leg injury a few days before the match, until finally the match was replaced by Nate Diaz. At that time, Conor made the injury suffered by RDA the subject of jokes and ridicule for years. Now the karma has finally turned to him, until Rafael dos Anjos later discussed the case via social media, where he said, "When I broke my foot before our fight, this guy made fun of my injury, and continued to do so for years. Taste your own medicine and humble up," says RDA. Cheats what he has done. A video suddenly surfaced showing how Conor McGregor did some cheating. One of them is through Khabib Nurmagomedov's statement that revealed when he fought the Notorious at UFC 229. In that fight, Conor McGregor was made powerless through various submissions and ground control in every round. However, recently a video footage emerged showing how Conor McGregor was being massacred by Khabib Nurmagomedov. The Notorious was seen cheating, namely pulling his pants continuously, kicking his head with his knees when the opponent was down, namely when Khabib's knees were against a mat, fingers that entered and gripped the fence when pressed with both hands and feet, and grabbed the opponent's gloves with put his fingers in. Although referee Herb Dean often warned Conor, but apparently many of these cheats didn't get a warning from the referee.
Got away with that one, still doing it. Herb Dean should be warning him.
Khabib was so furious that he satirized Herb Dean after the match ended.
How much they pay? What do you think?
I don't know. How much did you get paid, Herb? How much?
I was trying to do a good job. In my opinion.
All right.
I forget.
Not only against Khabib, a statement about Conor McGregor's cheating was also made by Dustin Poirier. In his statement, Dustin said that 3 fingers of Conor McGregor got into Dustin's glove. Dustin said that he even looked at the referee, but the fight continued.
He was putting his fingers in my glove and put me down to throw the up kick.
Some violent actions against others. In face-offs, press conferences, or behind the scenes, Conor McGregor has also been abusive. Indeed, there are no rules in trash talk, but what Conor has done according to some is outrageous. The reason is, what Conor said already touched on personal things, accompanied by death threats, and even humiliated Dustin's wife. This kind of thing also happened during his fight against Khabib Nurmagomedov, where Conor talked about race, religion and also insulted Khabib's father. Not only trash talk, while behind the stage Conor also did physical violence, where he broke the windows of the UFC athlete's bus which also contained Khabib. In the aftermath of the incident, there were several athletes who failed to compete due to injuries. Another violence occurred while he was in a bar where he hit a man suddenly. Some reports said that an investigation would be carried out, but there is no clarity until now. Prediction against Conor McGregor when he returns to the octagon later. Given all that has happened to Conor McGregor, is the fallen king really dead? Of course not, considering Conor's other ability is selling, where even when he lost, Conor had time to plan his fourth match for a comeback duel. Dana White also agreed to the possibility for a fourth match, as well as Dustin Poirier, who didn't object to it. What happened next was, the next fight for Dustin Poirier's bout was against Charles Oliveira for the title fight. Dustin himself is currently at his peak considering his young age. It doesn't matter who wins between Oliveira or Poirier, then the next fight will certainly shorten to the title fight. A pretty clever move for Conor. However, in his fourth duel later, can Conor defeat Dustin, or will Conor lose again? Khabib in his prediction revealed that Conor is far different in his level from Dustin. Conor's heyday has passed. Conor is no longer savage, but Dustin is now a savage fighter and focused on his goals. Meanwhile, Conor in several press conferences showed his distrust by attacking the opponent's personal and several threats. So, that was the Trilogy duel between Dustin Poirier versus the Notorious Conor McGregor. Please add in the comments column, don't forget to like and share with your friends. See you in another video. See ya.